Hey guys, how you doing? Out here on an overnighter with my Kelty Redwing 50, and I just realized I've had this pack for 4 years come November the 14th, and thought I'd go ahead and give you a little review on it after 4 years, tell you about how it's held up. I'm going to go ahead and unpack it and show you what I brought with me for the overnighter, and we'll look at some of the features, and I'll talk about some of my likes and dislikes. Anyway, let's start unpacking. Okay, first thing, the zippers are not what you would call a heavy-duty zipper. They've held up well. I haven't had any issues with them. I haven't had any issues with them hanging up or ripping loose or anything like that. Anyway, let's get on to that unpacking. I keep that tarp near the top of my pack because it's one of the first things I want to throw down when I start getting my gear out at camp. The other thing is my first aid kit. And I keep it attached to the side so it's close and handy. I'll pull that off. We're not going to talk about it today, but I want to get it out of the way. Alright, we're going to start with unzipping the front pouch. And all of them have the double zipper on them. And it's a fairly deep pouch. In there I have my trash bag, my flint and steel that I've had for several years. Thank you, Scouting Free, again for that. Close and handy, some cleanup wipes, flashlight, a small radio, and some more carabiners. Now, this is a fairly deep front pocket. It's got a lot of little small pockets. Be great for things like pins, maps, small thin items like that. Nothing with any size to them, especially if you've got the pack pretty well packed out and full. You just aren't going to get much in these, so they're nice for, like I said, small items like that, but I don't use it a whole lot. Let's get on to the main pack. Changed my mind. I'm going to go ahead and show you the side pockets first. Now, I like to keep my hammock in one of them, so when I get to camp, it's there quick and easy to get to. I don't have to fight to the bottom of the pack if I put it at the bottom. Quick and easy to get to. Same on this side. I like to have a fire source, my spoon, piece of fat wood. Always try to carry at least one piece with me. And then my favorite cook setup, which we'll go into that, or if you look at some of my older videos, you'll see how I use that. But anyway, man, this YouTube video stuff's hard. Forgot how hard it was. Rambling. Okay, both sides have a sleeve in it behind the pouch. Be great if you use this for a hunting pack. You'll figure out why. And they have, also at the bottom, a little stretch pouch, which is great for carrying a bottle of water or a canteen. Also, if you carry like a tripod or something, you can attach it on the outside with the straps that I have shut here, and then put the legs in the pouch, and it's a great place to carry the tripod. Let's get on to the main pack. We're going to look at the inside and what I have packed away for the overnighter. And that's also going to lead me into some of the things I'm going to talk about at the end, some of my likes and dislikes about this certain pack. But let's go ahead and look what I have in here now. What I like about the double zipper, which most of these style packs have, is that you can open it down to what you need as you go. And you don't have to open the whole pack. Right on top I have one of my moras and a saw and my ferro rod. Have those handy. So when I get to camp, one of the first things I want to do sometimes is fire me up something to eat or start cutting wood if wood's needed. I sometimes will even do that before I set up my camp. My tarp, had that for many years. That thing has been holding up well. change of clothing for the evening, bring a change of clothing. Don't wear the same stuff to bed. Especially change your socks if they're sweaty. Even in the winter time, change your socks before bedtime. And your underthings too. Put some clean clothes on. You'll sleep better, and if the stuff's wet from perspiring, it's not, you're going to get cold later in the night. So, sorry about that, just kind of rambling. Small food bags for overnight. Always carry one of these little stoves with me. I like this setup here. Just put it right there. It's nice and handy, easy to get to. If I want to eat, stop and eat on the hike, and don't want to make a big fire, or don't want to break out my other setup, or if I just choose to use it, depending on what I'm cooking. But anyway, I like to have that nice and handy. Okay, before we go down any further, it's got some nice pockets here. I like those pockets. My Lucy Light. Guys, get one if you don't have one. Those are great. I love that. Okay. Further down, Costco down sleeping blanket, if you would. Skeeter snails, thank you. I still need to get that back to you. My Snug Pack under quilt. My Atlas straps. And my sleeping bag. Now, you're asking, why did I bring a sleeping bag and the Costco down? I'm going to try and get by with just the Costco, but I decided to bring this just in case. It's only supposed to get down to about 50 tonight, I think. So it's a fairly large bag. Every time I pack it, I always think I'm not going to get all that in there. It surprises me every time. Now, back to the front, which I should have done in the beginning. I keep things like an extra pair of glasses. You never know. Used to be when I carried a small first aid kit, that's where I would keep it. Sometimes if I don't want to carry my phone, I'll stop and put my phone in there. Anything that you want accessible and quick to get to, that's great for that. Let's look at the straps, and then we'll discuss what my thoughts are of this pack. Well, I know the lighting's not optimal here, so I hope you can see this. Had to pick a spot that's not very good as far as lighting. It's pretty shadowy, pretty overgrown, but it's a spot. The park is pretty full, so that's a good thing right there. Bad thing is I am pretty close to the trail. Had to stop a couple times with people actually walking up into my camp thinking that it was part of the trail, but it's good to see people out, isn't it? Anyway, nice big wide hip belts. I like that. It's got your main straps for the hip belts, pretty sturdy, and then it's got some side cinchers. I don't know the actual term for them, but you're supposed to loosen all this up, loosen the front, cinch this up pretty tight, kind of suck your belly in and cinch it up above your hip bone there, and then cinch these in. It's got some pretty nice shoulder straps, and I will drop those down to show you how those work. And those are fairly well padded. They're very comfortable. I've had a few times when I first put it on that it will twist. You have to kind of untwist it to get it back in line, but it rides well, and it takes a lot of weight if you have the hip belt right. This takes a lot of weight off your shoulders. The way this pack's designed, got a nice aluminum rib there. It's built so it's got some air movement behind it. That's one of the things I do like. Going ahead and giving you a little jump on that. There's a sternum. Let me get this around where I can show you. Okay, you can see the sternum straps on both of these shoulder straps. Now, this is nice. It pulls the straps in, which you also notice have a nice curve to them, so that it doesn't ride right into your shoulder bone. But anyway, I've had issues with pulling them too tight. You know, when I first put the pack on, I pull it too tight, and it will pop loose on this side, and it will come off of this little bead, if you would, right here. Let me just tell you, it's a booger to get back on. Okay, so you don't want to pull this too tight. So be careful with that. Anyway, let me get on to my likes and dislikes of the pack. Alright, on to my likes and dislikes. I will tell you that my dislikes are a lot fewer than my likes. So that's a good thing. I do like that it's a lightweight pack. I like that it's fairly well built. It's well thought out in the design of the straps and the carrying setup, the aluminum backbone, the air, the way it passes through. You know, it's not riding totally against your back. The way it rides up off the top of your shoulders, I think that's very well thought out. I like the side pockets and the sleeve. I just like the design of the pack, of the, you know, as far as storage, in a way. I did mention the small pockets inside. You know, if you carry notepads, stuff like that, you might find that handier than I do. I don't use it a lot. The other thing is, if I would call a pack, as we do sleeping bags, you know, 1 season, 2 season, 3 season, 4, I would call this a 3-season bag. You start carrying a lot heavier gear, especially like if you're hammock camping, you're going to maybe carry a heavier sleeping bag along with your underpack and stuff like that, heavier clothing. You're going to start limiting yourself on space in this pack. I think it would still carry well, but I think you would be limited. And as I said, you know, with the Molly pack, you can then start attaching things on the outside. Again, you're limited here. So, as you see, I have very few dislikes in this pack. I think that if you pick this pack up, and if you weren't looking for a heavy duty pack, something that, you know, you're, again, along the lines of the Molly pack, I think this would be perfect for you. And I don't think you would be unhappy at all. I said I've had it for 4 years. I've used it quite a bit and still holding up well. You can see a few spots where the material's starting to get banged up a little bit, but for 4 years and all the zippers still work. There's no big tears. Nothing's torn or busted. That's a good well-built pack. So anyway, guys, I know that this is kind of a rambling video and I didn't mean it to be. If you get a chance, check out the Kelty Redwing 50. I know they've come up with some newer models, and this is an older model. So see what they got out there, and I think you'll like it. Thanks for watching.